I'll talk in English and Hindi both.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So, so thank you very much for this opportunity. And the topic that we are going to do today, the title is Irrational Beliefs and Aging. So this is actually based on the, remote rational emotive behavior therapy. So it's quite a well-known therapy in psychology. And I felt that, there's a lot to learn from this philosophy regarding aging. And that's why I thought that, we need to learn from it. And I thought it might be useful for older adults. And that's why I'm presenting it to you. Okay, तो ये जो this rational emotive behavior therapy will try and break it down also, क्योंकि थोड़ा सा समझने में it is a bit difficult. So it is actually a therapy for helping people with psychological and emotional problems, and it is a philosophy as well. So it's a philosophy as well as a therapy. Okay, so why do we use it? So to help people with negative emotions such as anxiety, depression, guilt, problems with self-worth, extreme or inappropriate anger. Okay, so all these emotional, psychological issues which could occur in aging are are there in this philosophy, and the principles which are there can help us to deal with all these difficult emotions. Okay, so as we know, aging is inevitable. Okay, so agar if I'm not going to die because of an accident or because of an illness, aging is bound to be there. Okay, so we need to prepare ourselves emotionally for the inevitable losses that are there in aging. Okay, so how do we prepare? What do we do is also given. Okay, so um, we know that as we age, not everything lose our ability to do things which we used to do earlier. Then we see a lot of physical changes in our skin, hair, fat, muscle ratio. So as we age, the pain generally increases in our joints in the form of arthritis and other diseases. So we experience a lot of changes maybe in sleeping patterns. So our relationships also change with people. Our friends and family members might pass away, so we need to prepare for that. So all these retirement is there. So all these changes which are there, if we are going to prepare emotionally for these changes from the beginning, it can help us to deal with all these changes in a better way. That is what this philosophy is telling us. So this REBT, so the full form is, as I said, Rational Emotive Behavior Therapy. It helps in developing healthy negative emotions. So negative emotions are there. As I said, not everything is positive related to aging. So how can we have healthy negative emotions? And how can we have more healthy attitude towards aging? Okay, so when it comes to aging, there are three, four important things, which determine how a person is going to age. And this is what I have spoken about, in my initial sessions also. So the first thing is genetics. Okay, so genetics is very, very important. So they say around 20-30% is based on genetics. The second is environment. Okay, so where am I staying? In which country am I living? What kind of services are there? Okay, so that is the second. In general, the environment in which the aging is taking place. The third important factor is lifestyle. Okay, so what kind of lifestyle am I leading, or uh, do I have? Okay, and in this, uh, physical and mental exercise both are important. And I think in TAARE Social, you do a lot of mental stimulation, mental exercises, which is a good thing. So generally, gerontologists say, I mean, people who study aging in a comprehensive way, they say that lifestyle is extremely important, and that is going to determine 70% of how the person is going to age. And over and above this, they say that the attitude that you have towards aging is what is the most important thing. Okay, so what kind of attitude do I have towards my own aging? Do I have negative beliefs towards aging, or do I have positive beliefs towards aging? Okay, my grandfather always used to say that aging is a curse. Okay, and I always used to feel bad, and I used to feel that my grandfather, who is in a relatively good situation, if he's saying something like that, then what about other older adults maybe who are not so fortunate? Okay, so attitude is extremely important, and research has proved that those who have positive attitude towards aging will live 7.5 years longer than people who have negative attitude towards aging. Okay, and it is REBT which can help us to develop those positive attitudes towards aging. Okay, so what, and we are going to see with the help of examples. So what kind of healthy attitudes are we talking about? So healthy attitudes are flexible, non-extreme, which help us to function, and they are logical, empirically supported, as in supported by research. Okay, which research has also proven to be true. Okay, so they are flexible, non-extreme, which help us to function in a better way, empirically supported, as in supported by research, and logical. As opposed to that, rigid and extreme attitude towards aging are demanding. They are rigid, catastrophizing, and intolerant. Okay, so I'll give you one example. Okay, so I will say that generally this anti-aging industry is quite big. Okay, and if a person starts getting wrinkles on the skin, they're going to say, oh, what am I, going to do with these wrinkles? I don't want it. Okay, and they will start, kind of thinking about it, obsessing over it, and saying that, I don't want these the freckles, or I don't want these wrinkles at all. So they better not be there. Okay, so if I am not going to accept the wrinkles which are there, which is a normal part of aging, then that is going to cause a problem. I might be, I can go to one doctor after the other, spend a lot of money, and still it might not go. Okay, and it'll make me very unhappy with my own appearance. Okay, and I might not go out, I might not meet my friends, and that can also lead to a person being lonely. Okay, so this kind of attitude which is there, that, I must not have wrinkles at all. I must not have a disease. Okay, so I think I have spoken once or twice about successful aging. Okay, so there's a lot of research which has been done on successful aging. And the very first, there are 3 or 4 factors which are, which lead to successful aging. And the very first factor, which determines successful aging, the very first important factor is that there has to be a low risk for disease. Low risk, low risk. They are not saying that I should not have any disease at all. Generally, how do we, what is our kind of thought pattern, or, how do we think generally? If I have a disease, array, how am I going to deal with it? I won't be able to do so many things. And then I'm going to get anxious. I'm going to get depressed. So I am demanding that I should not have wrinkles. I am demanding that I should not feel lonely. I am demanding that I should not have a disease. If I do not have all these things, only then my aging can be successful, which is not the case. In spite of all these things, or rather, despite all these things, aging can be successful and aging can be meaningful. Okay, so they are saying, REBT says that irrational beliefs are the cause of problems. As I said, that it is a demand that I must not be lonely. I must not have a disease. And this behavior says that these musts and shoulds are the ones which create all the problems. Okay. So irrational beliefs are the cause of problems, including depression and anxiety. They tend to ignore the positive, exaggerate the negative, distort reality, and overgeneralize. Okay. So people tend to use musts, shoulds, which create problems. So REBT is basically based on the philosophy of this very great philosopher called Epictetus in Greece. So what did Epictetus say? He said that it is not the actual problem which causes mind disturbances. So please hear me carefully. It's not the actual situation which I think is a problem. So this wrinkles is something, say it is a problem. So Epictetus is telling us it's not the actual wrinkles which is a problem. It is the way I perceive the wrinkles. It is the way I think about the wrinkles which is causing the mental disturbance or the problem. There might be so many people who might not make a big issue out of those wrinkles. They might be happy. They might say, okay, this is a normal part of aging. Okay, so the way I think about particular things, the way I perceive particular things is the problem, not the particular situation which is there in front of me. Okay, and that is why these musts, shoulds, that I should not have this, I should not have these issues in aging, which create problems and which do not allow us to accept certain things which are normal in aging. Okay, so most people realize R is for rational beliefs. So rationally, reasonably. So when we have more rational beliefs, they are more healthy, as we saw. So we are saying that we need to reflect preferences rather than demands. It would be preferable if I don't have a disease. It would be preferable if I don't have wrinkles. But this demand, these musts and shoulds are the ones which create a problem. Okay, so if there are preferences, my attitude towards aging will be more flexible, it will be more realistic, it will be more functional, and it will be more useful. And it will also help me in terms of my long-term goals and values. Okay, so E stands for emotions. So whatever happens to us, but as I told you, Epictetus has told us that it's not the actual event which is the problem. It is not the actual disease which is the problem. Also, I mean, diseases, there will be a lot of issues around the disease also. But the way I perceive or the way I look at the disease is what is the most important thing. Okay, so I can give you this example of this person. He's a very well-known social reformer, and his name is Dr. Abhay Bang. Okay, so he wrote a book in Marathi called Maza Sakshatkari Hriday Rog. So what does it mean? What is the title? Heart disease. So he said that it is because of this disease, I made a lot of changes in my lifestyle, which has become very liberating for me, which has become very enlightening for me. Okay, so Epictetus or REBT is constantly telling us that the way I perceive, the way I think about particular things is what is the major problem, not the disease, not the wrinkles in itself. Okay, so behavior. So once we bring about a change in our thought patterns, it is going to make changes. We can make changes in our behavior, and therapy is something which can help people to deal with emotional disturbances. So teaching, it is also a teaching training philosophy. Okay, so this is what is REBT. Rational is R stands for rational, E is for emotions, B, once we, the way we think about our emotions changes, it can result in a change in our behavior. और चौथा जो है वो है therapy. So fourth one is therapy. So now there are a lot of advantages also which are there. The way there is a downside to aging, as we saw, there are a lot of changes which we have to make. But this is something that we do not think about. What are the advantages to aging? Is there something which is positive about aging? So they have said that we need to think about these things also. Okay, so a mastery over certain skills. Maybe you might be good in cooking. Okay, so there are so many skills that maybe you have mastered over a period of time. You might be good in painting, you might be good in singing. Okay, so mastery over certain skills. Okay, second is maybe you have disposable income, because of which you can maybe go around the world, spend on whatever you want to. So this income. The third is benefits of climbing up the ladder. So maybe as you age, there are a lot many people also who are acting as mentors and consultants in a lot of private companies. Okay, so it's because of their age, it's because of their experience that the company has given them that position. Free to move wherever you want, free of the burden of raising children, and advantage of knowing what works or what is important. Okay, so there is so I'm part of a group where a lot of people come together for a particular cause. Okay, and there was some issue, there was some argument between two people in this group. And one was young and the other was around maybe 70 or something. And there was a heated argument. And everyone was thinking, we don't know how these two are going to take it. But when I spoke to that older adult, she said that I'm not going to take this seriously. I know what is important in life and what is not. So these are trivial matters, and I don't think this is something that I need to keep thinking about. So for me, it's I'm done, and I'm over with it. Okay, so with aging, you know what is important, what you need to give importance to. Okay, so these are some of the advantages which are there in aging. These are some of the advantages which I have mentioned out here. Generally, older adults use both sides of the brain, okay, to compensate for the cognitive decline which might occur. They generally use both sides of the brain. With young people, they generally use one side of the brain. Because of the experience that they have collected throughout their lives, there is better decision making during crisis. If I know what is important for me, if I know what interests me in life, I can make better use of my time. Okay, so better adjustment, better way of thinking about different options that I have in my life, better able to handle social conflicts, as I said. And there is no need to please others. There's no need to do muska polish and, unnecessarily try to, butter up others or please others, which, young people have to do maybe in order to get a job or, some membership or whatever. So I have spoken about this earlier. Okay, so a lot of researchers are also talking about this happiness U curve. Okay, so they are saying that happiness U curve, this happens in adolescence. So a person in the age of around 20, in the age of around 20 to 30, so this happiness seems to be there in adolescence, and it is there after the age of 60 as well. So again, this happiness U curve is again going up after the age of 55 to 60. Where does it fall down? Where is the downward spiral? It is in middle age. Okay, and why does this happen? It says that life satisfaction drops during middle life and begins its recovery after the age of 650, reaching its peak at the end of life. And why does this happen? Why people are more, they seem to be happy. That is what research is saying. Why are they happy or why are they moving towards happiness? It's because there is no social competition. They know which relationships are important. They know that social connections, forming social connections, developing good relationships are important. What are my priorities in life? All these things older adults have thought through them, and they know what is important. Savoring life, valuing the present moment which is there. Okay, so this happiness U curve which is there has totally, negated this belief that, youth is everything. Okay, so generally a lot of importance is given to youth. Okay, so this happiness U curve totally dispels the fact that, happiness can be there only in as a young person. They are saying that is not the case. Young people don't know what is important. They have to go through so many things in life. So older adults have a lot to look forward to also, provided they have interest, provided they have hobbies, provided they have some purpose in life. Okay, so this what are the healthy and unhealthy attitude towards aging? Okay, so there's a lot of theoretical this also which I didn't want to get into, but how they actually think about certain things which are considered to be bad or negative in aging. Okay, so I cannot bear that I have lost my youthful looks. Okay, so what is the healthy attitude that REBT is talking about? It says that I may have lost my youthful look, but that is not unbearable. Okay, I can tolerate the unstoppable changes with aging and accept that indifference that young people might show me. I do not have to define myself in terms of how I look or appeal to younger. आ रहा है समझ में? तो generally we make a big issue of all these things. अरे I cannot tolerate this, that people are not paying attention to me. I am not looking as young as. So they are saying that it is something maybe which is difficult to accept, but it is not intolerable. If I have a healthy attitude towards aging, I might feel negative about it. I might feel sad about it, but I will be able to accept the situation. And maybe if not, young people are not accepting me, I can form relationships with either middle-aged people or maybe with older adults. Okay. The second, this is I cannot bear. Okay, so the way we actually frame things is also important. That is what REBT is telling us. The language that we use. I cannot bear, I cannot tolerate this. And that is what creates the problem. This demanding attitude that I cannot bear this. Okay, so it says that I cannot bear that more time is behind me than ahead of me. Okay, so what is the healthy attitude? Unfortunately, more time is behind me than is realistically ahead, but it is not awful. It is not terrible or the end of the world. It is not catastrophic. I am still alive and kicking. And if I do not dwell on the amount of time behind me, I can enjoy the time which is ahead of me. If circumstances were different, I could have been dead by now, or I could have been less functional than I currently am. Okay, so when we actually that's what they're saying, that the way we frame things, the way we talk to ourselves about these things is very, very important. So I cannot bear that more time is ahead of me, but if I think in a positive way, saying that, okay, I'm still alive and kicking, there are so many things which I can do. Generally, in old age, we do not think about things which I can do. I'm always thinking about things which I cannot do. And that is where the problem lies. Okay? It is time consuming and frustrating to require exponentially increasing medical care. I cannot bear the increasing medical care my body needs. So it says that the hassle of going to different doctors. It is hard. It is difficult. But what can I do if I have to go to too many doctors? If there's a lot of, waiting which has to be done, I can read, I can do some work. Okay, I can try and master a skill. I can use my time. Okay, so this frustration which is there. Okay, so the way I think about it, if I have a more healthy attitude, that is there. I need to accept that. Maybe let me see what I can do in the time that is there, available time which is there when I go for my doctor's visits. I cannot accept that this is all which is there to my life. I should have accomplished more with my life. Okay, so maybe whatever I have done, I might not be very happy. But this kind of unhealthy regret will only lead to a lot of rumination. Okay, thinking about the same things, negative things again and again, which will undermine my ability to enjoy the moment and accomplish what I can do right now. Okay, I cannot accept that as the year goes, that as the years go by, the opportunities in my life narrows. Okay, so whatever opportunities are there, are we even making use of that? Okay, so whatever is there, whatever I can do is something that I need to look into rather than what I cannot do. Okay, so I'll just give you this example, quickly that there is this surgeon called Dr. B.R. Rao. Do we have time, Saleh, or Jimmy?
Oh, we have five
There is
minutes.
this Okay, so there is this doctor called Dr. B.R. Rao. So he has been a very good surgeon. So he wrote this book called Glimpses of Surgery. And he is not interested and he's not able to, with his, declining eyesight and whatever, he's not able to do surgery anymore. So uh, he has always been interested in cooking. Okay, so Dr. B.R. Rao, what he did was during the pandemic, he started cooking and he mastered it so well that now he has become a home chef. Okay, so now people are buying things from him. He is kind of earning whatever a small uh, living by selling these dishes by doing it at home. So he's saying that I made use of the opportunities, whatever I can do right now. He's got a Facebook page, he's got an Instagram page, and he's currently doing what he can do at home on his own. His wife passed away. Okay, so he's very happy with his cooking, and he said that I can conveniently do it at my home. I cannot bear the daily aches and pain that seem to increase. Okay, so maybe I'm not as flexible. Okay, so REBT says that I commit to living fully despite them. I will judiciously use medications, movement, and exercise to manage the pain and refuse to be miserable about these aches and pains. And when we have something to do, when we have some kind of a purpose in life, then all these aches and pains also will not be something which will matter to us a lot. Okay, so like Dr. B.R. Rao says that although eyesight is a big problem, but he knows what is important for him. He knows where his interest lies. So he says that, I don't think about all the problems that I have when I'm cooking. And that has helped me to deal with the aging process also. Okay, so I cannot bear the loss of my spouse and good friends. So I wish my spouse and good friends would not die and leave me. But sadly, this is going to happen. And all of us know that. Death is a part of life and nature's way of renewing itself. I was blessed to have these friends and family, and I will use the memories we made together to enjoy my life and comfort myself in difficult times. Although this is extremely difficult, and when the event occurs immediately after that, it is all the more difficult. But maybe if we try and see, whatever is there in our hands, what we have is the memories. Okay, so if I can make use of these memories to comfort myself when I'm feeling confused, when I'm in despair, then it is definitely going to be more helpful for me. Okay, so it is best to use RBT to discipline our mind to experience healthy negative emotions like sorrow rather than depression. Disappointment is going to be there. Okay, concern. So, concern rather than anxiety, and healthy regret rather than unhealthy regret in response to the challenges of aging. So, these negative emotions are healthy, they acknowledge reality, motivating us to do whatever we can to slow the progression of aging and live happily despite the downside of aging. So, we are accepting the downside of aging also. At the same time, we are also acknowledging that there are certain advantages also which are there. Okay, so some REBT tips which are there. So it says face reality, create my own beliefs rather than whatever society tells me. Okay, so society tells me wrinkles are bad, do something. Okay, so go to a plastic surgeon. So there is no need to do that. Accepting responsibility for my thoughts, actions, and feelings. Okay, so do it now. Act as a scientist. By acting as a scientist, it means that examine of my own beliefs. Is it really so bad? Is it really intolerable? So this is something that I need to examine. These demands, shoulds, musts, which we create in our lives. And if we work, if we practice, then all these unhealthy attitudes, we can actually work on them. No gain without pain, unconditional self acceptance, and here and living for here and now. So, some other tips which REBT offers is vital absorbing interests. What am I interested in? Where is the flow? Okay, so what uh, when do I feel totally lost as in totally immersed in something that I'm doing. Get interested in something and committing yourself to doing something. Okay, if I say that okay, I want to learn pottery, then commit yourself to it rather than going for a few days, then stopping, and then saying that I'm not able to get the most out of it. But have you done the full course? Have you learned it? Are you doing something with it? So REBT says that commitment is therapy. Committing yourself to your interest, commit yourself, only then you will be able to gain or uh, you know look for satisfaction and gain some satisfaction in your life. Be interested in others and yourself. Generally, we are interested only in ourselves. But showing that kind of concern to others, sometimes when we see others, we might see that they are going through so much in our lives. Okay. So remaining flexible and accepting uncertainty. Okay. So Albert Ellis said that if Martians, people on Mars, we don't even know whether there's life on Mars, but he said that if Martians ever find out how human beings think, they will kill themselves laughing. So he's pointing out Albert Ellis is the founder of this rational emotive behavior therapy. So he's saying that our life is totally guided by these musts and should, these demands which are there. Okay, so if Martians find out about how irrationally we think, then they will kill themselves laughing. So this is in gist about REBT. So how we can cultivate, how we can develop more healthy attitude towards aging. It will help us to look at aging positively and also deal with challenges and also develop new interests, which can also lead to aging which is more successful and meaningful. Okay, so thank you very much for listening. In case you want to say something, make any suggestions, please, please do that. I think yes.
Thank you, Amruta. Anybody has any questions? Quick, we can take a couple of questions quickly.
कुछ बोलना है, कुछ आपको लगता है कि ये हम लोग इससे रिलेट कर पाते हैं, होता है, नहीं होता है?
Amrita, thank you very, very much. This has been very, very useful. And, I like the fact that you're giving us scientific, proof of what you're saying. It's so much, it brings so much more credibility. A lot of us, tend to look at what WhatsApp tells us and we don't know what is true or not. but it's people like you that spread the truth instead of hearsay. Thank you very, very much, Amrita, for all the lovely work you do.
Thank you,
And
Amruta.
thank you. Bye, everybody. Have
Thanks.
a nice weekend.
You too.